questions for you. David asked me to kind of give you a little bit of background on myself. I've been in the television business pretty much since I graduated college, which was before I'm sure all of you were born. I went to school in a small school in Portales, New Mexico, Eastern New Mexico University. Worked at a television station there, and then started working as a sportscaster in Lubbock, Texas, and did that for 6 years, and then moved over to the what I would call the business side of the business, and found out sales was making a little bit more money and having a little bit more fun than what we were doing. So started out in sales and worked as an account executive, moved up to a local sales manager, then a general sales manager, and now I'm the vice president general manager here at WTWO. Been in Terre Haute for 2 years. Moved here from our sister station in Amarillo, Texas. So I grew up a little bit in the Midwest, so I'm kind of returning to some of those roots, if you will. So that's been kind of fun. There's been some interesting times out at WTWO, and we also operate the Fox affiliate, WFXW, and so we'll talk a little bit about that along the way as well. Right now, in terms of the television business, it's probably one of the most challenging times and one of the most exciting times probably in the history of television. And I say that based on my limited history in the business, but there's been a lot of change and a lot of transition, and the future of our business is going to be a little challenging as well. So we're learning to adapt along the way. Last year we completed the digital transition, a transition from an analog signal to a digital signal. Our CEO likes to refer to that as an unfunded government mandate to do that. The government told us that all TV stations had to do this, and we had to do it in a certain amount of time. And it cost each television station about $3.5 million to convert from analog to digital, and really with no return on your investment. I mean, no real apparent return on your investment, no immediate return on your investment. So when you multiply that $3.5 million times 62 television stations, that's why our CEO was a little concerned about the money going out the door. So we did that. That was one of the challenges. We did that. Some of the other challenges are there's so many other mediums. You used to have basically 3 TV stations in a town, and that was about it. Now you've got TV stations, you've got radio stations, you've got internet, you've got newspaper, you've got outdoor advertising. There's a lot of different mediums that are all competing for the same advertising dollars. So again, that makes things a little bit challenging. So again, times are a little tough too. The economy has not been good. You hear a lot about the car business. The TV business is real tied to the car business because you see TV advertisers advertising on our stations. When they're suffering, we're suffering. So we've gone through some tough economic times. The other thing that we're trying to do is remain relevant. And when I say that, because the government is very involved in our business, we're having to basically prove our worth to the government. The airwaves, the bandwidth that we have, and give that to the mobile platform so the mobile platform can grow. So we're having to literally lobby congressmen and talk to them about how our business is relevant and how what their proposed plans, or the FCC's proposed plans, how much devastation that could cause our industry. So when I sat in a class like yours, 20 some odd years ago, nobody taught me that, you're going to be sitting in front of a congressman one day, trying to describe why the business that you're in is relevant. So that was it's been a learning experience for me as well. The other thing that makes it challenging in our business is reaching viewers. I mean, that's what we're measured by, is the amount of viewers that we have, and the viewers have changed over time. We have to reach what we call the lean back viewers. Those are the guys that are sitting at home on their couch with a remote control and just watching TV. And we call those the lean back viewers. And now we're having to reach what we call the lean forward viewers. And those are people that are watching TV on their laptop, people that are engaged in a process and they're lean forward. And then there's also, and some of you may fit into this category, kind of the combo. You sit at home watching TV, but you got your laptop out and you're doing some things at the same time. So we've had to figure out a way to reach that whole group, and so that's been a new way and a different way that we've had to approach our business model. It's been a little bit challenging as well. WTWO TV is owned by Nexstar Broadcasting, and then, like I said, we operate WFXW. WFXW is technically owned by Mission Broadcasting, but we have what's called a joint services agreement, or a shared services agreement, that allows us to basically operate that station as well. We technically don't own it, but we operate it. So that's kind of where lawyers get involved and how all that works. But anyway, we operate both those television stations. So Nexstar was founded in 1996, came from a radio station background, and has grown into the 16th largest broadcast company in the country. Over that time. In late 2003, we became a publicly traded company, which means you can get our stock on Wall Street, and so that in and of itself has posed new challenges, because when you become publicly traded, you have to go by a different set of rules. We operate, own or operate 62 television stations in 34 different markets across the country. And so we've got television stations all over. That's a good thing, because it allows us to learn from one another. We don't have to reinvent the wheel every time we want to try something new. A lot of times somebody's already done some of the things that we're trying to do. We employ as a company over 2,200 people across the country, and we have a net revenue of about $300 million. So we've become a very viable broadcast player, and our owner and CEO, Perry Sook, has been real, I guess, on the forefront of some interesting and sometimes controversial news, which has been kind of fun to have to be there to support that that, I guess, front, if you will. Kind of an early adapter of internet revenue. Again, in the old TV business model, when you sold commercials, you had a nice commercial buy from an advertiser, and you said, "Much money with us on TV, we're going to give you a banner on our website." And that's the way it worked. Well, that's not the way it works anymore, certainly in our company. We've gone away from what we just call a TV station website and created what we call web portals, which involve a lot of different things. It's an interactive website, a lot of viewer content, consumer content, video, pre-rolls, all that kind of stuff. We do a lot of contesting and things like that. So we saw early on that was an idea, that was an avenue for us to gain some revenue. And just to kind of tell you what kind of revenue we're talking about, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, as a company, throughout all of our stations, we probably generated about $100,000 of internet revenue, which, again, relative to different markets and all that, is not very much. Next year, we're forecast to do $20 million in internet revenue. So again, that's allowed us to be a viable broadcast company, because we've taken the retransmission money and we've taken the internet revenue that we generated. We've created 2 brand new revenue streams that have allowed us to survive some of the tough economic times. Inside the television station, we're broken down. Again, I'm the general manager, and then we have department heads that operate each one of our departments, and those departments are engineering, news, production, and promotion and sales. And then in the sales window, we have 10 people that sell, or account executives that sell for us. And then we also have an e-media manager that manages our web platform. We also use the TV account executives also sell the internet for us as well. We feed into the hub. They handle the production of our logs daily. They handle our business financials and everything else. They do that all from the hub. We still roll the commercials and do all that from our area, but as far as generating the logs, it's all electronic these days. So they prepare the logs, and then they communicate with us through the phone, through email, and then they basically, for lack of a better word, dump the logs that we can print out that run the commercials each day. So they do that. If this is the Rockford hub, they do that for our sister stations in Champaign, Peoria, Terre Haute, Fort Wayne, and Evansville. All feed into that hub. Then we have different hubs. We have a hub in Rockford, a hub in Rochester, New York, a hub in, where are the other hubs? There's one in Springfield, Missouri is another hub that we have. So again, that allowed us to be more efficient. At least that's the plan. Is it easier to have a traffic manager down the hall that I can go talk to? Absolutely. There's just the challenge has been the line of communication. You've got these people here that had to learn our business. They had to learn how we do business, and the challenge for them is all these TV stations did things just a little bit differently. And then they have a TV station there that did it one way. So we've all had to kind of learn to communicate and go from there. We are fortunate we've got a good hub. And I say that they know what they're doing, they're experienced, and it's a good thing. one of the other hubs is in Lubbock, Texas. I forgot about that. When I was in Amarillo, we went through this hubbing process, and with our traffic department, it was not very pleasant. To be honest, it was not good because the people that were there were not good. So they've had more challenges. So when they announced that we were hubbing, I wasn't real excited about it. But then after going and meeting the people, you know, we've gotten through that, and it's been a good thing.
Then talk a little bit more about the lean forward viewers and the people who, like my wife and I, will, if we're sitting watching TV, we've got the computer on, we're doing something. Mm-hmm. Do you see more and more shows, programs, doing things that are interactive as the program is going on, like, you know, get online now and do this? Yeah. Kind of like, you know, the Dancing with the Stars or the America's Got Talent or whatever, those kind of shows where you can vote.
There's an interactive element. Yeah, absolutely. And that's what advertising agencies in Madison Avenue are trying to figure out the way to hang on to those people and engage them in the television product. And that is, you know, maybe offering something, you know, go to the website now and get something for free. That's right. So they're trying to engage that interactive viewer to grow them, because, you know, if they all go away, we all go away. So we're trying to figure out a way to hang on to them. So the creative element's a big part of commercial television. They would go to
yeah, I said you could go to 4 p.m. Thanks very much.
You bet. Glad I could come. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me.